All right, Guardsmaniacs, welcome back. This week we are live with another Guardsmania. I am here with Logan Bruce and Eric Green. What is going on, my guys?
Not much. We're in first place. No complaints.
Yeah. Got the day off yesterday. Looking forward to watching tonight's game after the show.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. The Guardians they keep on rolling. You know, they're a team. I feel like we say this every week, but they're a team that they constantly feel as though the bottom's going to fall off, and it's whether it's the weak division or the fact that, you know, they keep developing young talent. They are not falling off, and we are back here and we're still in first place.
Yeah, they definitely avoid those streaks. They limited it 4. I think 4 is the most losses they've had in a row, and was 5 the most wins. I mean, they keep it in the. I was telling Gary the other day, they were the last team in the league to have a series decided by a sweep in either way, and it was in the May. Every other team had at least a sweep win or a sweep loss. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they're 1-2 every series, 2-1 every series. Mm-hmm. So like you said, they're consistent, definitely consistent.
Let me ask, do you guys feel like they're like this consistency? Does it feel different than previous year? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, we've been like an above average team for forever. It seems like, does this seem like it's any different, or is it more of the same?
I feel like it's a little different. The makeup of this team is different. The offense, while it's not a top 15 in Major League Baseball offense, you know, it's definitely not in the top half of the league. This offense does have a little bit more punch than we're used to seeing in years. And they're doing it really without Jose Ramirez. And when I say without Jose Ramirez, this is not to discount the year that he's having. I mean, we're a little over the third of the way through the year, and he has a 1.8 WAR. So Jose Ramirez is still producing, but he's not producing at the levels that you're used to seeing Jose Ramirez produce at.
And I think he would say he's not producing to what his standards are either. You know,
for sure.
Watch him; he's so hard on himself, and
for sure. But you actually have a lineup this year.
Yeah,
you know, you have Bazana is looking like he's going to be that leadoff hitter. Mm-hmm. You know, DeLauder's hitting. I mean, you have a little bit of a lineup to build off of, and it's not just all pitching this year.
And to answer your question too, Logan, I think last year that team lost 10 games straight. People weren't that surprised. I think this year I'd be surprised if they lost 10 straight. I just think, they're a better team. You know, I don't expect them to lose that many straight. There's no expectation of that anymore. Like last year, you could understand because they were young. Yeah, you know, and they can't. Whatever since that second half, and they came back on the Tigers. You know, they've been playing really good ball.
Yeah, I think when you have like question marks early in the year, like they did last year, and then you still are able to turn it around and make a run and all that, like it definitely seems like it carried over into this season. Mm-hmm. Kwan's hitting also did, unfortunately, but I don't know. Yeah, to me, it does feel a little bit different. Specifically, like with just again, like them calling up DeLauder and Bazana when they did, like that's just kind of, and they even tried with Burrito, but like usually they don't call these guys up, and it feels like we're always just sitting here waiting for our top guys to get called up, and we're waiting, and we still kind of are for like Engel, guys like that, but they kind of just said screw it, let's bring our 2 of our best prospects up and play them.
Right.
And
I think they kind of had a log jam there, and they needed to find out what some of these guys could do. And we've talked about guys that they've missed on. Caminero, it'd be nice to have him here, but you can't hit on everything. And Yandy Diaz too, and it's going back a little farther now, but it was time to see what these guys could do, and I'm glad that they made the
I think that's part of the problem, though, is that we've been it's been a lot of years of all of the offensive players that they've touted and they brought up have just failed. Mm-hmm. How many years have we talked about? And I can't remember the guy that we traded in New York in the Andrew Miller deal. He was there's Clint Frazier. And even over in New York, he didn't really amount to anything. And then there was the left-handed outfielder that we didn't trade that we kept that didn't end up being anything. And I can't think of his name at the moment. I went to his first game. Can't think of his name. But he was left. He ended up, I think, with the Blue Jays maybe afterwards.
Man, I know who you're talking about.
He was also a first round pick. We had a couple of first round pick outfielders. But there's been a track record of the Guardians/Indians not necessarily having these position players pan out. It's only really been the pitchers.
Yeah.
That's why there's, I think, a reluctance of Guardians fans and Cleveland baseball fans to really believe in some of the offensive players that this organization has coming up. And then when you do have somebody, like you said, Yandy Diaz, what is he? He doesn't do it here. He can't hit for power here. And all of a sudden he goes to Tampa and he finds his power stroke. There's been a couple examples, over the last 20 years of things like that happening. We couldn't develop Brandon Phillips here for some reason. Right. Brandon Phillips was a 160 hitter or whatever he was here. And then
that guy his bat was a windmill. Like you could just, if you were warm on a date, you could just go stand in front of him while he was hitting and just catch a nice breeze. The way that
not in Cincinnati though.
Right. And then he
shortened that swing in Cincinnati, and he was
their best hitter since Pete Rose.
Yeah, I mean, he was a MVP candidate for a couple of years down there in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You had Corey Smith I think he's a little bit more than 20 years ago, but the first round third baseman that we drafted. There's so many examples of these first round bats and these highly touted bats that the Guardians had that just didn't end up panning out. So I think as a fan, it's been scary. You get rid of Lindor and you have this gluttony of middle infield prospects. And Rocchio is supposed to be the class of them. And he comes up here and the guy did not look like a major leaguer behind the plate the plate for a while.
Not for a while. Yeah.
And to be honest, like I went and saw him down in Akron a couple of times and he didn't look like the guy that was supposed to be that kind of prospect down in AA. Now he's maturing, he's developed, and thank goodness he's there. It looks as though like he might actually be that guy.
I think he could, I feel like he'd actually could be our shortstop for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. It's good to see him finally come into that. And he was very questionable for a while.
For sure.
And even Martinez, Angel, he's been doing relatively well. But again, like last year, and Schneemann, I'll bring him up every episode because he was just the perfect example of why do we have 6 of these guys on our team, the platoon Schneemann guys, but then Schneemann's playing well. I don't know what it is this year. It's just I think everyone's kind of turning it around a little bit. And I know probably 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were on here, we were still complaining about them not being able to hit.
Yeah.
But it's I think, Gary, you were saying it. Everybody's always said it, but you said winning cures everything.
Yeah.
We started winning, or we kept winning, and we were winning because of our offense for once for the last 2 weeks.
The last 6 games, they've only scored 12 runs.
Yeah.
Bradley Zimmer.
Bradley Zimmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Winning
him and
cures everything.
Frazier, in my mind, are the same person.
For sure.
They
one from the left side, one from the right side.
We had to watch Zimmer for a little bit longer, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Frazier was a guy too. I never really there's some guys that I don't understand what happened to, because even in New York, it seemed like he was putting up okay numbers, and then he had those concussions and they never really gave him another shot. I don't know if maybe he was injury prone and they got scared. I mean, he does podcasts now. Nobody else gave him a shot, but it just seemed like he always hit.
Yeah. I don't want
until he couldn't.
He wasn't a great locker room guy. Sometimes those top prospects, again, I don't know him at all.
Yeah.
So this is me making it up, but the top prospect guys have big egos, and you don't really want to bring that into the locker room if you don't have to. Who knows? He might be a great guy. I'm not sure.
I mean, he seems to be fun on his podcast.
Yeah.
That's weird. And I like those podcast guys,
Yeah. Maybe he'll be asking us to go on his show soon, I'm sure. after I just called him out for being an asshole when he's not.
Remember, we keep it positive here, right?
Yeah,
that's the way. That's the way to get to the head of the line.
Yeah.
Just calling people you don't know assholes for no reason.
Yeah. But
so I mean,
go
with
ahead.
the guard, I'm going to pull up the standings here, and we're 3 games ahead of the White Sox. And the White Sox, I don't necessarily think that they're a team that's. I don't think that they're a team that's built to keep this going. Not that they're necessarily even a team that's
that Japanese
has something to keep going.
It's, and I'm like waiting for is he going to keep doing it? If he does, they're going to be a problem. But I don't know. I don't think he will. He's hit 20 bombs already.
But can he carry? Can one guy in that lineup carry that team for the whole year?
No, Colson Montgomery's doing pretty good too. His average is a little on the lower side. I don't know if it's like 240 right now, but he's got like 14 bombs.
He was one of their top prospects like a year or two ago, wasn't he?
Yeah,
or last year maybe.
First round fantasy pick for me. So
smart move.
I'm rooting for him.
Yeah,
you can't. He's a White Sox. You can't root for him.
I'm not rooting for the White Sox. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, but you root. Yeah, but he's a White Sox, and he's now. If this was football and it was Browns and that dude was a Steeler, you couldn't root for him.
Listen, you got to separate your games from your real life. You got to have that separation. I can't. I've lost too many good guys because I'm like, F this team. I'm not taking this guy on my team, and I dump him, and somebody else has a Hall of Famer for 12 years. I don't care. Trust me, it makes some of the games hard to watch. It makes some of the games hard to watch.
Yeah. I don't know. So I went to the Cavs game on Monday.
How'd that go?
I had fun. It would have been nice if the Cavs showed up to the stadium too. That was crazy.
But you didn't have to go to New York. They brought it to you, right?
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to the Cavs for the free tickets to that beatdown on Friday or on Monday. But then while that was happening, the Guardians were also getting beat down by the Nationals across the street. So the only positive thing that happened was, I guess, the free food at the Cavs game. But I do have James Wood on my fantasy team too. So he hit, what was it? It might have been a first pitch bomb. I don't know.
It was first
at bat, but it was an absolute nuke.
That dude can crush the ball. I looked up his numbers. Yeah, he's one of the hardest hitting dudes in the league right now.
Yeah,
he can crush it.
So
that Washington lineup was potent. That was a pretty big lineup to test us against, and we failed
nowhere. Yeah, this year, they've always historically been awful. And
it's hard to forget they won in 2019. They were the world champs. I always forget that.
Their best player then signed with their rival a year or two later.
Right.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, you had Trey Turner. Turner went that way. You ended up Bryce Harper went that way. It seems like everybody, went from the Nationals to the Phillies. It also seems too like it doesn't matter where you put that franchise. The Nationals never lost the feel of the Expos either. No. Where they have they're good for like 3 years. And then they are Major League Baseball's AAA team.
Right.
And then they'll have
Mike Guerrero comes along every few years.
Yeah.
Mike Guerrero signs somewhere else and they suck again.
Yeah. Where it's like in 94, if that strike doesn't happen, I don't know if anybody's beating them in 94.
Right.
Yeah.
They had Andres Galarraga on that team, Pedro Martin. That 94 team was stacked. Marquise Grissom's on that team. It's one of the best teams. I think they've done documentaries about that team too. It's one of the best baseball teams ever put together. Moises Alou
was on that team also.
Yeah, they were managed by Felipe Alou.
Wow.
It was every masher. I think Fred McGriff is on that team as well. No, maybe he's not. He's already with the Braves. Maybe at that point.
At least,
but Galarraga was on that team.
Just on the team.
The whole team was Hall of Famers. Rondell White, I think, was on there. It was just.
You had Darren Fletcher, Mike Lansing, Will Cordero, Moises Alou, Marquise Grissom, Larry Walker. Now,
Larry Walker.
Larry Walker was on that team.
Yeah, those and Will Cordero, and then those 3 other guys I just said, all had 3 or more WAR. So those guys were,
Galarraga was on that team, wasn't he?
According to this, no.
I thought
Unless
he
he
was.
was hurt.
And this was the strike shortened season.
Yeah, 94.
94, no. Their pitching staff was Ken Hill, led the league with 16 wins. Pedro Martinez was the second. Jeff Facero, Butch Henry, Kirk Reuter.
Reuter was good too, man.
And John Wetland. There you go. That's one of the all-time closers.
Yeah, they ended up having to do like a fire sale, and he ended up over in New York after that.
So yeah, I'm wondering like where James Wood, and that's where I'm like rooting for him to keep their guys, like just so they're a team like us, kind of just Washington. I would assume is somewhat of a bigger market, but I always think that, and they never really seem to be.
Dude, Jeff Shaw was on that team too.
Washington spends money, right? Yeah, they will.
Yeah,
they've had a pretty low high roster.
It just seems like they just aren't consistent enough, so nobody wants to play there. Like Bryce Harper doesn't want to stay there because it's the Nationals. Soto doesn't want to stay there because it's the Nationals. Like they just don't have the winning culture. It's weird.
Yeah,
but they
weird.
consistently have, like, I would say they're superstars, and we could look it up and prove me wrong, but just like the way I think of them, like their superstars are outside of Jose Lindor, maybe too, but like they get better individual players than we do consistently, it seems like.
For sure.
And then they win 2 out of 3 against us, I think.
Like I said, they're a young team. All those guys in that starting lineup, I think, are 27 or younger, and they just can hit right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's right again. Like I just want some mashers, and it seems like we might, like Bazana's hitting pretty well. I don't know. I feel like the only thing that we might be missing, and you guys mentioned that we were going to talk some trades. I don't know, like just someone. I know I can't say like it'd be nice to have James Woods because every team in the majors is thinking that, but
right. Yeah, it was tough coming up with these trades because, of course, you'd like to have the best guy, but it was tough to be realistic with what we have.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're taking a look here, where our hitting is at here. And actually, let me take down Dick's House of Sport. We love you as a sponsor, but I'm going to take you down here so that we can see all of our.
I didn't mind sharing my square with you, but.
All right. So taking a look here, I mean, we're saying Jose Ramirez. I mean, the guy's hitting 226. He has a 1.8 WAR, and that's second on the team here. But, we don't have a lot of guys that are really mashing,
Yeah.
No.
All your guys that you normally rely on are having off years. And then even Angel Martinez, he's a guy that, he was on a hot streak there for a minute, and they were talking, is Angel going to be the guy out there? But he's gone cold.
He's one who strikes out way too much and walks too little.
Yep.
I think that's going to, correct itself. And we won't see him on base as much. Hopefully he fixes it, but
I don't, as I was saying a couple weeks ago, I don't think he's gonna. I mean, if you're just looking at like the simple, if you're looking at just someone like the simple stats here. Once I guess WAR is not a simple stat as far as figuring out, but it's easy to understand, right? Wins above replacement. I mean, even with his mashing, the guy is a 0.6 WAR. You don't survive very long in Major League Baseball when your on base percentage is 40 points. I mean, it's it's only
284.
Yeah, it's 284 and he's hitting 240.
Yeah.
That you don't last very long in Major League Baseball.
Look at those WARs on our team, man.
Yeah.
I don't want us to just jump on and be. I know none of us want to just be negative because we're still playing well. But yeah, I haven't seen these WARs.
The WARs, these guys, the OPS with really low OPSs here. Jose Ramirez even hit, he's helping keep this team afloat, but that's still a 739 OPS. Slugging percentage is below 400. And that's not really because he's lacked power. It's because he's lacked, he's just not hitting well.
Yeah.
So they definitely need some pop here in this lineup.
You had one trade on yours. I think it was the third one on your list, Gary.
Yeah, we'll get into these here shortly.
Yeah,
Logan's seat's getting his seat's getting warm.
All right, so
hot seat.
So since
The
we're going
Stone-
into those,
Are we signing Evan Longoria or are we not?
yeah, we're gonna sign Evan Longoria. So Evan Longoria is a free agent.
Yeah.
Do you guys take him or do you leave him? Evan Longoria, 6 years, $100 million.
Give him another
42 years old.
Get him another 6 years. Yeah. I mean, it'd be
All right.
better than Lane Thomas for whatever we paid him, but nothing
All right,
against
so-
Lane Thomas. I know Lane listens to the show.
He's a big guard. He's a big Guardsmania.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
So let's see here. Let me bring up our trades here. So that there was one trade on here, and I know you like that third one. So this would be a trade with an AFC with an American League Central rival.
This one would
So
be
this-
tough. I think yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just when I initially saw it, I would like it would be nice if it happened. I just don't think that they would trade him in division to us.
So
And he does have some injury history, but he's been playing great the last 2 years.
So this would be the Cleveland Guardians would be sending Tanner Bybee, Brian Rocchio, and Slade Ciccone to the Minnesota Twins for Byron Buxton.
Interesting.
I think the idea of Buxton, like he would be what we need. I want us to have another all-star on the team. I know I was saying like that I didn't want us to make a trade, but then when I saw your guys' trades, I was like, all right, yeah, I should have come up with some shit. Because we probably could make a trade. We'd have to give up prospects for Buxton, I think. And probably some top prospects. I would say guys that are in the top 10 of our pipeline. Which then the only downside to that would be, are we prepared mentally to have in 3 years these guys be on the Twins? Like I don't know, of what's his name, Velasquez, Ralphie, someone like him, just becoming the next Joe Mauer or Justin Morneau for the Twins, and we just have to watch them for the next 10 years.
No.
For sure, but on the flip side of that, how many guys from this organization have been Joe Mauer?
Yeah, that's
or Justin Morneau.
We get rid of them. Some of them.
That's why it would really suck to get rid of one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Caminero.
Like, that's what I'm
But
saying.
isn't that kind of like a loser mentality though? You don't want to trade guys because you don't, you're afraid of like what they might become to
if
not
you believe
win
in
now.
them.
All right, I'm gonna hang on. We got to record that. So when I talk this Bazana extension, we're gonna replay. But yes, that's right. Like if you're gonna make a move, like it's like a risk reward thing. Like you have there has to be something that we risk. Buxton would instantly make us one of the best teams, and like we already kind of are, maybe, but we would potentially be one of the favorites to win the AL. I think if we had a top 3 center fielder on our team.
Would you rather? So you would rather try and go from our prospect list than from the Major League Ready roster?
I think the Twins would like say that we have to, because I think they would like kind of with these superstars. He's borderline all-star superstar, whatever you want to call him. They would say, give us you need to give us one of your best 3 prospects because we're giving you our best player.
For sure, but I think that for example, Rocchio still has 4 or 5 years left of control.
Yeah,
and he's blossoming, so that is a top prospect. And he's at the majors.
Yeah, I think we have to include him. I think they would just demand more. I like the Bybee.
Yeah,
like it's almost a deal. Like if they want Bybee, Rocchio, nobody wants Slade on. I get that was smart though to try to push him away to somebody else. But they would say, yeah, Rocchio and Bybee are nice. What we also need Cooper Engel. We're giving you our best player.
Well, there's also, I think me and Gary talked about him last week, the shortstop Angel Hinao. He just got moved up to AAA. He's 22. Expect him to come up sometime this year.
But where's he going to play though?
Well,
in Minnesota,
probably be like your utility guy for a little bit this year, and then like Jose did. Jose kind of came up that first year and just
he's second base and left
got
field.
his feet wet, and then
yeah.
He never really played third base until the majors. He was a second baseman.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he played second base, left field, center field,
Yep.
shortstop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's an athlete.
I mean, he was a shortstop.
And I think that's why you have always a middle infield congestion, because your best athletes, I think, are shortstops. And
Yeah.
what happens when you can't be a shortstop anymore? You go to second base.
But
You go to third base.
the
Mhm.
problem with that, though, like I understand that,
Mhm.
and I think in the steroid era, that's a great way to go because your shortstops were hitting 45 home runs and hitting 330, right? Your Alex Rodriguez's, your Nomar Garcia. Not saying all those guys were. I'm just saying in that era when everybody was just killing the ball, you can do that. Your best athlete may be a shortstop, and that's what they say, and that's why they do it. But shortstops don't hit. You know, we are back to that era where shortstops are the light hitters and your corner outfielders. You know, your corner outfielders, your first baseman, your third baseman, that's where all your power and your big hits come from. And so, you know, I think the Guardians, I understand like why they do that, but I would much rather have a glut, honestly, of corner outfielders, of power hitting corner outfielders that I could turn into 3 shortstops on the trade market.
And like
And
we
have
said,
you know what I mean? And have a glut of these guys that can hit 25, 30 home runs. Because that's the currency, man.
yeah,
That's
they
the
can't
current. You
seem
can
to
get
develop these
anything with
guys
those.
too. Like we talked about how many first round pick outfielders they had, and how many of them have ever been good.
But they're all none of them are these mashers though. They get these they get these guys that
Trevor
they're gonna
Crow, and he was more like a base hitting guy. And
they're these punch and Judy hitters. I don't even know if they even use that word any. You know, they use that term punch and Judy, but that you know there are these guys that hit double singles. You know, they're switch hitting center fielders. You know, Trevor Crow, and I think Trevor Crow was a second baseman too. He was a second baseman that they moved to the outfield, if I remember correctly.
I thought he was a.
I don't remember. I think there are a lot of shortstops that are still hitting, but like to me, like Bobby Witt obviously like is in a league of his own. Ellie from Cincinnati. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he sometime like in the next year or two moves to left fields or something.
Well, they have a shortstop called. Yeah, they have a shortstop in the minors, Edwin Arroyo too.
Yeah,
the Reds,
right,
who's really good,
and that's where you almost like bring him up. And like we're talking dynasty baseball. Like I drafted Ethan Holiday and Eli Willits. The Nationals also haven't like he's also like a top 5 prospect already, and he's 19. But these guys come up as shortstops out of high school, and then I get what you're saying, Eric. Like then they just kind of naturally move them to like, yeah, you're a shortstop because you're the best player everywhere you've ever been.
Right. I mean, I don't want to give away my fantasy strategy here, but when I look at especially first round picks, you look at all the shortstops that were taken in the first round. Yeah, they're usually good. There's usually some good ones in there.
Yeah, because it's like you're a shortstop. You've been a shortstop since you were in little league.
Right. And a lot of the times, yeah, you draft guys at shortstop, and like you said, they move.
Yeah, they'll end up moving. So I don't know. That's and I don't know. I just we'll see. Like again, like Jose was a shortstop, and I don't know if he would have ever panned out as an MLB shortstop. I think eventually, like he's just a smaller dude, like he would have had to move. Anyways, so but yeah, I mean the Buxton thing would be cool. It would be nice.
But can you play him in the field though? Does he have to be your DH with his injury history?
He's been playing the field, and he's actually also on my fantasy team. So every day I wake up and see if he got hurt.
Yeah.
Now, knock on wood, because he probably is going to get hurt tonight. But
I mean, if you're in a different position than with the Twins. With the Twins right now, they're trying to, you know, the Twins are out of it. You're trying to maybe build a little bit of trade value with him, right? So you're playing him in the field, just seeing what he can do. You know, if you're the Guardians and you're giving up everything that you're going to give up for him, you need this guy. You know, this guy cannot get hurt.
No, I think I would be cautious with him and DH him a lot of the time. I think we got enough. Not that his defense isn't good, but we have enough good defensive outfielders to, you know, make it worth resting him and just using his bat. Because I think that's the most important thing we're getting.
He was like the number 1 prospect for a long time, and he hasn't really come in. That's another thing to keep in mind too. And that would be my argument if I was on the phone with the Twins trying to trade for him. It's like, this guy, yes, he's like, he just got, like, he finally reached his potential at age 28, 29, whatever it is, and he's only been great for a year and a half. So chill out with what you're asking, because he's only, like, the Twins know more than anyone that he hasn't reached his potential until last year.
I don't know if I'd necessarily agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's just been so hard because he's just been so hurt his whole career.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about a guy that has a career WAR of 31.8. So he didn't get all of that last year.
That's fair.
You know, he's, if we're going back and taking a look at his stats here, the dude hit, he did hit 35 home runs this year, but, in 2022, he hit 28. He hit 19 and 21. You know what I mean? Even going back to 2017, he had a pretty good year that year.
Sounds like he's putting up Evan Longoria numbers.
He is. I definitely wouldn't sign him to a 6-year, $100 million deal at 21 years old, but I just trying to think of guys out there that could help this offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Eric quit. No, I think, that would be ideal. And if there are other guys out there like him, on the market, like veteran hitters, again, like Edwin Encarnacion was like the perfect guy that we could have brought in when we did. Like, I just, like, somebody that we know, we don't have to sit here and question what their productivity is going to be, because we've seen it for the last 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Martinez, like, wondering is he the best hitter on our team 2 weeks ago? And there was a good argument for, yes, he is. And then he goes ice cold.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like that Expos team we were just going through, like, yeah, they were Hall of Famers, but it was like, you knew what you're going to get every week, every month of the season with those guys, because they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Yeah. If the Guardians are watching, if you want to, like, Byron Buxton, please trade for him. And try not to give up any of our good prospects. Just give them Ciccone. They'll understand.
Yeah, for sure. They're in the same division, so they're like,
here you go.
They're family.
We just want our AL Central to win it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're family, as far as other guys out there that could be available, there's not a lot of other sexy picks out there right now, because we are talking the end of May, early June. So there's not a lot of teams that have fallen out of it. You could talk, to Baltimore Orioles. They have kind of a logjam in the outfield right now. So Taylor Ward could be available.
Mm-hmm.
Ward has had some good years. 36 home runs last year, 25 the year before, had 23 in 2022, all with the Angels. This year, he's hitting 256, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. Plays out in left field. He's 32 years old. So, the draft capital that you would have to, give up for him, not like the other guys. I had maybe given up maybe like a Ciccone and a Matt Festa. Maybe they want like a compensation, one of the, like that compensation pick. I don't know.
I think they gave up Grayson Rodriguez. Did they give up Grayson Rodriguez for him?
They might have, but Grayson Rodriguez, though, has been hurt for a long time. So it was kind of like a.
That's right. I know Angels fans were mad when that trade went down, because Rodriguez is another one that was like going to be the next Nolan Ryan, and he's literally been hurt his entire career.
Yeah, blew his arm.
Yeah. I think Ward would be great. That would also be a great pick.
He is only signed through this season, though, so they would have to re-sign him.
Yeah. Well,
so be a rental.
Yeah.
Be a rental. Because one of my trades has some rental guys that possibly re-sign if they want to spend the money.
They don't.
And then
no, they don't. But
yeah, they never do. And then this next one is probably the iffiest of all the trades. This is for a young guy out of Boston. He's already a Gold Glover, right fielder. Willier Abreu. I don't know how to say his first name. Willier. But he hits right-handed pitching. Left-handed, 286, 6 home runs, 22 RBIs. He's another guy that is just, there's a log jam in right field out in Boston. So for him, maybe like a Cantillo, Helpin, and a Festa. I'm really trying to get Festa out of here. So 2 guys, if you guys noticed, I'm trying to trade Festa and Ciccone.
Yep.
Those are the two guys that I'm trying to send out of here for some bats.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he would maybe fit, what the Guardians are looking for as far as, a little bit of power, really good defense.
And Boston's way out of it. They suck this year.
Yeah.
Wheel
so they
year.
might be a team willing to do that.
Wheel year.
What do you guys think about maybe bringing Abreu here?
I like that. They had a relief pitcher. I can't remember his name. Like, I think right now, if we're talking trades, like a team like Boston's the perfect one that you can target because they know that they're probably not winning the division anytime soon. I can't remember the dude's name, but yeah,
I like that deal.
Mm-hmm.
I like that deal.
Do you go?
So I think any of these dudes, we're going to have to include prospects. This is what sucks, and we don't trade our prospects, so who knows what they would actually do.
We might have to if we have so many.
I hope
not like we have an abundance. I think we have like 5 in the top 100, and I don't think that's one of the top teams, but maybe not the best.
Yeah.
Would you go after maybe like a Jarren Duran, who's he's had some good years up there in Boston. He is not hitting right now.
He's like, I know the fans aren't even really entirely sure about him. He would be kind of a good fit here. He kind of, it sounds bad to say it out loud, but he has kind of like underplayed what everyone thought that he was going to be. Like, he hasn't really reached the potential that everyone thought he had.
Mm-hmm.
So he could kind of fly under the radar as somebody that you could get for a little bit cheaper than what you would have a year or two ago before he, made his debut, whenever that was.
Right now it's about like 5-6 years ago now.
Is it really?
He led the league in doubles in 24. Yeah, he led the league in doubles in 24.
Mm-hmm.
Led the league in triples in 24 and 25. And then, this season so far, his slugging is way down, 386. On base percentage is 279. That might be a little too low for me. I definitely would go the other way, though, with the one you said.
Abreu. Yeah.
That would be a decent one because Abreu looks like he's arbitration eligible, free agent 2030. So you have to pay him a little bit, but you could keep him.
Any interest in trying to resurrect Tyler O'Neill out of Baltimore?
Nah, not really.
If we had like a good history of doing that, like he is a veteran though. I don't know. That's where honestly, if you scroll, like if you look through our lineup that you just had up there, like there are not many guys in their 30s. Not that you want to like bring in a bunch of older dudes, but like everyone on this team is 24 or 25 outside of Jose and Hedges, who's 50. Like I think Tyler O'Neill would be, I don't know if he would come in and do great, but he'd be a veteran in the locker room.
His last 2 seasons have been very subpar.
Yeah.
Minus 0.64 last year, minus 0.7 this year.
He'll fit right in.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But no, I just I don't see a turnaround from his regression. He's 30, making big chunk of money too. Yeah.
Is he?
So before we get into more trades, Eric has a couple trades he wants to go into. Logan, I know, has been boiling with this idea. He has an idea for the Guardians' future that he wants to get into. What the Guardians can do to help secure, at least for what they have right now in the offense.
Yeah.
And so you want to lock a guy up, don't you?
It's kind of become like a fad, and I know you have to watch out for these because the league will start to move and they do something. Right now, what the fad is, like when your young top prospect comes up, actually the Mariners just did it with Colt Emerson a week before he even made his debut. But it's to lock in your young, what you hope was going to be an all-star superstar player. So I want us to lock up Bazana now instead of, and I know there's risk of that. We'll get to that in a second, but there are multiple teams that have done this. I have it here. Let me go through a few of them. What is it? Connor Griffin signed $140 million. The thing won't load, so I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. Connor Griffin Emerson, I just mentioned.
McGonagall.
In Detroit they did the same thing. Like there's a few of these guys, and that just seems to be what teams are doing.
And how are those all working out so far?
I mean, McGonagall's been in the league 3 weeks longer than Bazana has. The answer is I don't know. Like, and then like a more recent example of that might be, and it's not that recent. Like the Braves did it with Ronald Acuna, and we probably like even in my head when I say that out loud, like I don't know if he was an MVP candidate and then he tore his ACL twice. So, but
sure.
I don't know.
So here's a couple things. So over text message, we were talking about this. The one thing that I brought up where I was against it was the Evan Longoria deal, which was, 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago. He had that 6-year, $100 million deal. And it seemed like, even though this isn't the truth, it felt like once he signed that deal, he didn't play another game. But that's not true. He did play. He did play after that. But most of his damage was earlier in his career. He just played a style where he got hurt and all that stuff. As far as the Guardians go, what really makes me nervous, there's two things that really make me nervous with the Guardians in that. One is that the Guardians do not do well with dead money. If they sign a guy to a deal and that player does not live up to that deal, that handcuffs them.
Yep.
And I know that in a couple of years, it seems like the Dolans are not going to own the team here. And so we don't necessarily know what that's going to mean for the Guardians going forward. The other thing is that the CBA is up at the end of the year. Yeah. And it seems as though Major League Baseball is going to be proposing a salary cap for the first time since 1994, which was the last time we had a work stoppage. So
they actually did that yesterday, right? They made their proposal.
Yeah. And it has a floor, but it also has a cap.
Yeah.
And if they're offering him a 7-year or an 8-year, $80 million deal, and he's $10 million a year against the cap starting next year, that's, that cap is probably, if it's a $284 million cap, that's not a major league cap. That's going to be for the whole organization.
Yeah.
And with the way that the Guardians spend, and just with the track record of things, I don't necessarily know how, you just don't know how dead cap money works or how it's going to work under the new CBA. I can't imagine there being baseball after this year without a salary cap. They're the last sport to do it. I think that having the salary floor up so high is something that it's going to intrigue the players. You have the Guardians who, I don't know, what is their salary? Is their salary even at 100 million this year?
I don't believe
so if you can get that salary floor up to 100 and what is it? Was it like 140 or 170?
140, and then the cap was like 250 or 260.
I mean, that's a lot more money in Major League Baseball because there's a lot more teams closer to 100 million than there is.
Yeah.
I think you definitely see talent move around. You said teams that are going to have to get rid of these guys, make decisions, and I think that would be good for baseball.
For sure.
But it's, at the same time, I do like this little guy, big empire
and
thing that we have going on.
You're still going to have that because you have that in every other sport. Because in every other sport,
people are still going to want to go.
You broke up there, E. You froze. So I think what you're saying is that you still got guys. Did he freeze for you there too, Logan?
Yeah.
So we'll get him out of here and let him refresh. So I think what Eric was trying to say there is that, like, you got guys that are still want to go to big market teams, and that's true. And there's still ways around the cap in every league.
I mean, the Browns, have been doing it since the Watson deal went down.
For sure. And before that, and the Cavs are doing it now.
Yeah.
So if you want to spend money, there's still ways to do it. You just have to be creative and you figure that out.
Yeah. And that's right. Again, like I understand the risk factor to it. And we talked about it on the Bearded Browns show. Mike said he was taking a nap. Glad to wake up to this. He didn't include the part that watching the show is actually what put him to sleep in the first place. What's up? Are you back?
I was sneezing.
Yeah.
I dropped the signal for sure. It was me.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, yours is the only one that froze. But so, all I was saying, we brought this up on the Bearded Browns show. with the Watson deal.
Mhm.
And this is Travis Bazzana is not Deshaun Watson, but the only like when that Watson deal went down, a lot of fans were excited because they took a chance and they actually tried to do something.
Mhm.
I think that's kind of, again, a horrible analogy, but kind of how I feel about the Bazzana thing. It's like, dude, this guy, he's right now our best hitter, or one of our second best hitter, third best hitter at worst. Like, just sign him, just try to just lock this
But
guy in. And
but Logan,
yeah,
he's been your best hitter though for 3 weeks.
yeah, and I'm not saying just sign him strictly because of that. It's just he's shown that he could be a major league player, and other teams are signing their young guys. My fear is that he actually plays above, like he ends up playing him like what Lindor did, like just play yourself out of the city. But your CBA point, I did not think of that when I brought it up. Like that kind of stuff would come into play. Like he's not going to sign with the Dodgers for $500 million because the Dodgers won't be allowed to pay him $500 million.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
hopefully,
so, yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe there won't be a cap, but it just sure seems like it's going that way. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine I can't imagine that being a cap next year.
Right. It seems like it. I mean, all they talk about is how the fans are saying there's like a competitive imbalance, which to an extent there is. If we were the best team in the AL right now and we went up against the Dodgers, I think they would just smoke us. Like
Well, Tampa Bay is the best team, right? And they're the lowest.
Dodgers,
aren't they?
Yes, that's where again, the league keeps using this. Like the fans want this, and it's like we just don't we just don't want the Yankees and Dodgers to buy all of our team's good players.
Well, I don't even think it's not even the good players; is that they have the marketable players. It's that when you when you come into the beginning of the season, like for example, as a Guardians fan, you can't predict the record. You cannot predict how the team is going to, you cannot accurately predict how the team is going to do beforehand, right? Especially with the way the Guardians are built now. They don't have guys that have a track record that you can market. So at the beginning of the year, when it's cold out, no one is weathering the storm to go out to the literal storm. Nobody is weathering the cold weather to go out and see a bunch of these young guys who may or may not hit. Whereas before in the 90s, I know it was a totally different time and there were a lot of other different circumstances, but you had guys on that team that had track records.
Mm-hmm.
You had Omar Vizquel. You knew what he was going to do every year. You knew what Kenny Lofton was going to do. You knew what David Justice was going to do. You knew what Travis Fryman was going to do, right? You had a team built with established major leaguers, all-stars, that even if they started off slow, people still went to the game because you knew who you were going to go see. Brian Rocchio, nobody knew he was going to hit 280 this year.
Brian Rocchio didn't know he was going to hit 280.
Brian Rocchio didn't know he was going. Didn't know he was going to be hitting 280. And so I think a salary cap allows you to maybe keep some of these stars after, baseball guys take a long time to develop. And so you have them for 7 years in the major leagues, but sometimes these guys don't get good till year 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And so you have them for a year and a half or 2 years of good baseball, and then they're gone.
Right.
They're in you trade them for whatever, or they hit free agency and they're gone, especially in a market like Cleveland.
Essentially what you're doing is you're betting on their future instead of paying them for their past. A lot of guys get paid for what they've already done. Longoria, his numbers were probably better before his contract.
He was better before he signed that deal.
So he got paid for what he did prior. So it's just a different way of thinking. You're paying these guys, betting on their future.
Which you're always going to do. That's what you're always going to do in sports, right? But you don't have, you just don't have a level playing field in that way,
No, you don't.
Yeah. And I like Emerson with the Mariners signing his extension before he ever stepped foot on a MLB field. Like I get it. Like it feels weird. And it's just like, I don't know. Like at this point, I think Bazzana feels like, and they know more than we do. They've seen him every day. They watch.
I think we've seen him enough though too.
Yeah, where it's like if they signed him for 8 years and 80 million, like one, it's not my money. I don't care. I know I would be excited just to know, and this is such a low bar, but that like he wants to be here. Like that he's kind of bought in, and we also kind of return the favor. Like 80 million might not be a lot of money in the grand scheme of things when Shohei's making 700 mil. I mean, in Major League grand scheme of things, but it's like we're also giving you all this money, and you might not ever accept. Like you could, hit 150 from here on out. So it's kind of like show faith both ways.
For sure,
but I think we've seen enough that's to see that he's a little bit different than everybody else. That he's kind of got it. Whether or not, like I said, it sticks. You never know.
Yeah, but you would have said that 2 years ago with Steve Kwan when Kwan was hitting 380 and you thought he was going to hit 400. You would have locked him up for 6 years, 180 million at that point. When guy.
No, I don't think I would have. What did they give him?
The same 8 years, $80 million. But that again was like he had been hitting well enough in the pros. Like, this one's just, I don't know. I get it. It's like he hasn't done anything. He's been here for a month, 3 weeks, whatever it is. He looks great. He might be bad tomorrow. But other teams are signing their young guys, and I don't want us to be like the one that tries to outsmart everybody. And, if he continues to do this for the rest of the season, that 8 years, 80 million is now 8 years, 140 million because he balled out all season. Or the other way, it could be the exact opposite. 8 years, 40 million. Played like shit.
Or you just do what they do now and just go through arbitration every year. And because the thing is like even if you go through arbitration with him, right? And even if those last 3 years of arbitration, if he's making 40 million those last 3 years, it's still 130 million over that contract,
Yeah.
And then you're still only taking that risk year to year. Whereas to guarantee the guy 80, 90 million off of just, I don't know, especially with the CBA coming up. I get
it. There's risk. I get not wanting to take the risk. I want to take it because it's not my money.
Here's the thing about Detroit too. They signed McGonigal. He never played in AAA. He played a little while in AA, but he was right up. I mean, they brought him right up.
Mm-hmm.
But look at the situation Detroit's in right now.
Yeah, their cap will get cleared up in the next couple of years. I was me and you were talking about that originally, and I thought they were going to be pretty strapped, but they should be cleared up in a couple of years.
In a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot of money tied up.
Like, they probably saw him and they're like, all right, like it might be risky, but we're kind of betting our future on this kid, rather than waiting a couple years. And then he cost them 200 million. They did have Scooble's not making a ton, but Miguel Cabrera, like they actually are shelling out cash, which we never do.
Oh, they did. They shelled out money to Dontrell Willis.
Yeah.
They shelled out money to Javi Baez.
Yeah,
where the whole world was like, "What are you doing?" They gave that guy a lot of money.
That's the one. That's one of the guys. Yeah, they got to clear that off their book.
Yeah,
that was a bad signing, man.
Yeah,
that was.
So, E, what do you got for your trades? How are we going to make the Guardians better?
We're going to make the Guardians better by. I think all of my trades are trading minor league prospect, but I'm looking to trade guys who have value because that's pretty much what the only way to get something back, and we don't have a ton of guys with value. But I would go with Rocchio, Manzardo, and the prospect catcher Cooper Ingle to Texas for Jake Berger, the first base, third baseman, infielder, corner infielder, and Mackenzie Gore, left-handed starting pitcher, former first-round pick. Strikes out more than 1 or 9 an inning, which is something I like in my pitchers, and I'd love to see the staff work with him. He's having a down year.
He played for the Nationals.
He did, but he's from San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, so
he's a good starter.
So, but and the other thing to know about those two guys is they both are on, I think, the last year of their deals, so they would both have to be rentals or guys that want to re-sign here. But I would love to see what they could do with Mackenzie Gore, coach him up here and see.
Yeah.
And then you can move
under the radar is like,
and then you move Saccone to the bullpen.
Right. Yeah. Like we have talking about like Slade not doing too well. It does kind of fly under the radar a lot that we could also we could use another starter to replace him. Normally we just say our pitching's fine, but you could always get another quality starter there.
Yeah.
Right.
And Berger is Burger can mash.
I mean, he would take Manzardo's place. You might. I mean, Arias will be back, so you'll have your middle infield back. And like I said, he now is in AAA. He's 22. They might bring him up sooner than later too, and see what he can do at shortstop. But that'll give you more. Definitely give you rotation depth and solve your power issue at first base. Not that Manzardo supplied it last year. This year, it's just not there. So
yeah. No, I like that deal.
All right, my second deal.
Engel.
What was that?
I said it's tough giving up Engel. You had Engel in that one.
Yeah.
Which again, it's kind of what you have to do.
And they got Huff, and they have, I think, Cozart, another one, Cozart, that's coming up. They have a couple other young catchers. I think their catcher depth is good. So
yeah,
that's why I chose to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Same thing with Khalil Watson in the outfield. Him or Stephen Kwan and Joey Cantillo or Justin Campbell, who's a minor league pitcher, was a second round pick to Arizona for Juan Murillo, relief pitcher, who's under control for a few more years, and he's having a pretty good year. Young relief pitcher, right-hander. Zach Gallen on a big contract, but it's they might pay for some of it. Who knows? And it's another thing with him is he's been former Cy Young, and just hasn't had it. I wonder what we could do with a guy like that, if it's worth it.
He's like a perfect buy low candidate.
Yeah. But he's also on a 1-year contract, and he's a guy, if you turn him around, he's a $30 million a year
stay?
Guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's got stuff to prove. I mean, he might want to come back and prove, like, hey, listen, I can prove I have value. I can prove I'm worth $30 million. And then the other person in the trade was starting pitcher Patrick Forbes, who's a rookie. He's actually in the rookie league. He just made his first starter in the last week or so. He's got one start under his belt, but he was number 1, 29th pick, I think, in the first round.
Interesting.
So you're giving up Campbell, the prospect, but you're getting back Forbes, and you're getting the veteran arm that's expensive but broken, and the young reliever that you can control for a few years, who could be your setup or even, anywhere up there. The last one, Tanner Bybee, Tim Herron, and Kyle Manzardo to Washington for Curtis Mead, the first baseman. Joey Weimer is an athletic outfielder. And Andrew Alvarez, a left-handed relief pitcher.
Weimer had a really strong April, didn't he? I think that
he did.
Yeah,
he cooled down now, but
yeah,
he did. He was almost a pickup.
He's from Sylvania,
interesting,
Ohio, but he is back in the minors.
Okay.
Oh, they sent him down. Damn.
Yeah.
He was even like on the MLB. That I knew about his hot April because he's like one of the MLB The Show cards for like a April spotlight when the guy goes off in April. Like he has his own MLB The Show card because he played so well. I didn't know they sent him back down.
It says according to ESPN, it says status is in the minors.
Yes, I can confer that.
That's a good deal, though, too.
But he's still
Aaron would be tough to get rid of, but again, we kind of like it's always next man up here. It feels like outside of Matt Festa, who Gary wants to trade, and I agree. Like we kind of can just replace all of these guys.
I mean, Washington probably has a bevy of outfielders. I'm thinking then.
Yeah,
they do.
If he's in AAA, because he still had a positive WAR this year.
Allison wants to know, who do we need to trade for Pronk?
Yeah, I think that's a great call. We definitely need to bring him back.
Yeah.
Shrek.
He probably could hit better than half the team right now. Not anything against the rest of the team, but
does anybody have a theory on what happened to him? So I remember he was having a hell of a year, and I think it was Mark Burley hit him in the elbow on like the last game of the year, and then he was just never the same after that. So are we thinking was it the injury, or is that like coincidence, and maybe it was he stopped doing something and that was it? Or I mean, what happened to that guy?
That stuff will mess with your head, man. Like
just got scared of the ball.
Yeah, the yips or anything, but like, yeah, you get That actually happened to me. Like I was scared to get hit for about a year after, because I got hit like right here on the side of the face, and it was like it's very difficult to just forget about it because every time you think it's going to happen again. And hitting a baseball is already the hardest thing to do.
So do you think it could have actually been like being hit by that ball
thing? Maybe, yeah. Again, who knows? But yeah, which is why David Fry even coming like that to me is like, it's crazy that like his face literally broke from getting hit with that pitch.
Yeah,
back. It's I don't know how you do it, but yeah, I agree. Pronk would be great to have back on the team. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's only 40?
Only probably in his 40s or 50s. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's younger than me, so if he's younger than me, he could still play.
Yeah.
He's 48.
48. Yeah, he's not 50. He's good.
He's older than me. Ooh.
Oh yeah, so he's younger than me. So, or he is older than me. I mean, so I mean,
there's like the story. Never mind. I don't want to talk about it, but like why they call him Pronk.
Refer to
he's
never
still
mind.
48 and hanging meat for sure. Like there's
Well, he was doing a lot of stuff here in Northeast Ohio for a while after he retired, wasn't he? Like I think he was
see him for a while. Yeah, he was
working over at Notre Dame in South Euclid there for a little bit, doing stuff with their sports program while they were still at college, I believe.
Interesting. Maybe he's still around. Yeah, let's trade for him. Screw it.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it like a scene out of Major League where you get everybody coming in for spring training tryouts.
Yeah, this guy was great. You guys would have loved him in 2007.
He was, especially 2006 though was the.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And 7 was when he started. Was when I think it was the end of 06 when he got hit by the pitch from Burley, and then he had 07, and then him and Sizemore started the. After that, unfortunately,
07 he went from 5.9 WAR in 06 to 2.9 in 07 to minus 1.0 in 2008.
Yeah, so I started.
He rebounded, but he was in the never out of the low 2s or 1s again.
Yeah, I mean, he never played the field again really after that.
No,
that actually like lines up when I started drinking heavily. I never put 2 and 2 together. It's like Pronk's career started to go down, and I just couldn't handle it, I guess.
I think I think that was the case for a lot of things here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's actually like it wasn't a couple years afterwards. LeBron left too.
LeBron left. Brady Quinn. Like it was just like perfect storm.
Yeah.
Like you got a blackout every day, man.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Pronk.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And then after that, dude. And then in 08, CC left, and then in 09 we had to trade Cliff Lee. I mean, that was.
Dude, I remember when it rained. When LeBron left, I was hammered, and I watched that stupid show that he did, and I just walked outside with my head down. And I looked up to the sky and I yelled, "Why?" And right when I yelled it lightened and it started downpouring on me. It was literally the darkest moment of my life. I had a lot of rock bottoms, but that was the worst one.
Yeah.
Just right after LeBron embarrassed us, getting downpoured on. Yeah.
Was that bad. Like your first rock bottom, or?
It was the first one of many, but it still was the worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Pronk had been off the team for a year. Like, I don't know how I survived. Yeah.
So Pronk was like the push off the mountain.
Yeah.
And then that was the.
Yep.
That's a long fall, man.
Yeah.
That is a long
more
fall.
of that on next week's episodes. Yeah, we'll go through my rock bottoms if you guys have 6 hours. Yeah.
We're so happy you're here, though, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're so happy you're here. Big hug, buddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Proud of you.
Well,
did you have any trades, Logan?
So I didn't until I saw you guys, and I was like, "Oh man, these guys are cooking with these trades. I got to come up with something."
Right.
I don't really
next week.
Well, that's what. So I would like, and this is, I think the Astros are no longer the cheating Astros. They're not winning any games. My dark horse for us to trade for would be Josh Hader, and I think we'd have to give up probably 2 of our top 10 prospects to get him, and we'll make him take Slade from us too. But I think Josh Hader, again, I know Cade Smith's leading the league right now, but and saves, but I think Josh Hader would be awesome.
He's got the track record.
They could definitely use, they could definitely use a little bit of depth in that bullpen.
Right. And it's like, if you're hitting so inconsistent, the best way to combat that is make sure if you ever do get a lead, it doesn't go away. And that's when you shore up the bullpen.
They probably would do that. I think he's on the 60-day DL. He hasn't pitched this year, so maybe we could steal him.
Oh, man. Maybe does he have that shit? Or sorry, I keep swearing in this episode.
You naughty boy.
Yeah.
I caught myself.
Hundreds of viewers keep leaving every time I swear.
We're down to one viewer now because of you, buddy.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if he has, everybody has that thing where there's like bone fragments in their elbow this year. Have you guys seen that? Like Hunter Green has it. Yeah. It's happening more. Like it doesn't happen this year it's happening more often. It seems like it's super weird.
Hopefully,
same thing Scooble has.
Yeah. Loose bodies.
Yeah.
They call
Isn't Scooble having Tommy John again?
No, he's already throwing again, which is crazy.
Yeah, he should be back in
really? I thought he was gone
June or July. No.
They said like 60 to 90 days for him to come back. Because I have Hunter Green who on my fantasy team who has the same injury. And they don't know if he's going to pitch this year, but Scooble after a month is already throwing again.
So he might pitch in time for Detroit to unload him and get something.
That's what I think. Yeah, they might be doing it kind of. Hopefully, not rushing him if it's going to do permanent damage, but making it seem like, all right, you guys can trade for him. He's going to pitch.
Well, I did have a couple trades. I posted a picture saying what trades would you make, and we got a few responses. I'll go over a couple real quick. JD Nelson on Facebook said, "Get Jordan, trade Manzo, Engel, and Lavalette."
Ooh,
I don't know. I think you're gonna have to give a little bit more.
Get
Jordan. Yeah,
you'd have to go through our top 10 prospects and take 6 of them off that list.
Thank you.
That would be sick though. If they're not winning, you might as well just get rid of them.
How much longer does Jordan have on his contract?
Ooh, I have to look it up.
Go ahead, go to the next one while I look that up, buddy.
Okay. Josh Netherland said, Aroldis Chapman from Boston. They're very out of it, and it fits a huge need for us in our bullpen. That would be kind of like your Hader deal.
Yeah.
Chapman's having a dominant season too.
He hasn't.
He doesn't say what he wants to give up for it, but what would you be able to? What do you think we'd have to give up for that?
I think like Cooper Engel again. I don't know all these guys. If we want, Hall of Fame type guy, like you're giving up whoever our top prospect is would have to go.
You're talking. You said Aroldis Chapman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem though is that the guy's 40 years old.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but James Harden's 36 now. How great is he?
Analytically, he's younger.
Yeah, well,
analytically, he's the top pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, analytically, he's better than the Dodgers. Yeah,
yeah. So I think something like that. You're probably going to give up a good prospect, but it's going to be a lower level prospect for a guy like Chapman.
Yeah. And let me think here. Any more?
So Alvarez has 3 full seasons left on his contract, which would keep him through 28. So 26 this year, 27, 28.
How much is he making a year?
Was a 6-year, $115 million contract he signed.
I mean, that's not bad. They could afford that if they gave up.
So it's probably backloaded. So he's probably around 30 million.
Yeah, no shot.
We'd sound like
the richest owners in sports who refuses to pay guys anything.
Yeah, that's the other thing about trading Bybee. His salary goes up to like $21 million in 2019.
Damn,
I don't know if he's pitching like
in
that.
2027.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I apologize. I said 2019.
Yeah,
not even the right decade.
Ronald Acuna deal. That's when he signed his deal. Was 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just want again, I know we have Jose, but just another top 20 player in the league. Like, can they just make a splash or top 30 player, whatever you want to call it? Like, just get us another great player. Like it can't be Jose and then whoever the hell we decide to throw out there that starts.
Right.
We think we can play well.
I mean, you probably have to get rid of Jose to get Jordan.
Get rid of him in what way?
Trade him. They'd have to trade to get, I think.
Well, at that point, then you're not doing anything.
No.
I think
No, absolutely not. That's what I'm saying.
They would probably want. They probably want like Gavin Williams or Messick, and then our 2 top prospects or 2 of our top 5 prospects.
I wouldn't do it for sure. No.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a thing that you can do.
Somebody else would. So that's why I don't know if we'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're wrong for asking that. I think we'd be wrong for paying it.
For sure.
Mark Melikar is like Gary there. He wants to bring back Trevor Bauer.
I'm down with that, man. I've been wanting Trevor Bauer back here since he was a free agent from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Trevor Bauer guy, man. I know that personality wise people don't like him, but I don't have to hang out with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not inviting him into my family. I want him to pitch. And I think Trevor Bauer just really got a raw deal from Major League Baseball. I think he's getting punished for calling out spider tack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same way Jose Canseco got punished for calling out steroids. Whether he did it for the right reasons or whatnot, but that's what he's getting punished for is for piling on to the Astros and that spider tack stuff. That is what Trevor Bauer. Yeah. It's not any of the other off the field stuff, because there are other athletes in other sports and even in Major League Baseball that have gone through stuff that have not had to go through what he went through. Major League Baseball is upset over the spider tack stuff. He broke an unwritten rule.
He was a whistleblower. He's
a whistleblower, and that's why he's out of baseball.
Yeah.
Look at a guy like James Karinchak. He put James Karinchak out of baseball.
Yeah. Guy couldn't throw curves anymore.
Well, Karinchak, I think, has even pitched well in the minors since, though. But I think he was a spider. Allegedly, it seems as though there's a feeling out there that he was a spider tack guy, and I mean, you don't see what he's doing now. Karinchak, I think, is still pitching in the minors. James Karinchak. So Karinchak
is in the Braves system right now.
Yep. And what is he doing right now in the minor leagues?
He hasn't pitched in the majors since 23, since pitching
with us
here. Yeah.
But he has a 2.45 ERA with a 105 WHIP.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's people. Major League Baseball has lost. Major League Baseball has lost confidence in this guy for some reason. I don't understand why.
He's still throwing 9 strikeouts per inning. I mean, he's still striking out.
1 strikeout per inning. Yeah, 9 strikeouts a game. His
stuff's there,
and
right?
he did it, and he pitched well in the White Sox minor league system when he went over there. He's pitching well over. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. There's certain guys I just don't get. And we were talking earlier. Clint Frazier was one of those guys where it seemed like he was putting up numbers, and for some reason he just never got his shot.
And Frazier, did he have injury too? I think he might have had an injury. I think he ran into a wall.
He had a couple concussions, but he played afterwards, and he was still hitting the ball hard afterwards.
I don't want to make stuff up, but there is definitely a story out there on YouTube about it.
He's an asshole again. Yeah, it's got to be what it is. Yeah.
Nothing bad this time.
Yeah. He's got to be an asshole. There's no other excuse.
Yeah, it's got to be, allegedly.
Yeah, but no, he's 30. I don't get that, the Karinchak thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's put up the numbers, man. He's put up good numbers in the Major League Baseball. He's put up good numbers in the minors. His whip says that he's not really walking guys. So,
it
remains to be seen. If the Guardians are looking for bullpen help, they got a guy that they know pretty well. A guy that they drafted is sitting there in the minor leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder if maybe he's not throwing gas anymore.
Yeah,
with
maybe.
his spin rate. I don't know. But he's
out.
there. He's available. Before we go here, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. Dick's House of Sport out in Strongsville has been super awesome to us. I want to thank them. Doug White, Allstate Insurance Agency. They've been with us since the beginning, both here at Guardsmania and the Bearded Browns. Rust Belt Automotive and Diesel. Give them a call, 216-883-0474. Cleveland Ketchup, use the code Bearded for 10% off. They don't just have ketchup, they've got mustard, they've got all the sauces, all the condiments that you need. There's also Bearded Bastard Barbecue Sauce. Use Bearded 15 for 15% off. Rest and Renew Counseling, 216-815-1728. Call Jennifer. That is Angel's wife. So she probably needs the counseling. You can help her deal with Angel. This is all brought to you by the Land Multimedia Group. I'm Gary. For Logan and Eric, this is Guardsmania. We will see you guys next week. Go Guards.
Go Guards.
Go Guards.
Bye, guys.